my name is Miranda Pearson, and today I'm going to be telling you why vaping should be a concern. The rising increase of vape usage is very alarming from a social and health perspective. The use of electronic cigarettes, vapes, and Juuls has been said to have risen astronomically in recent years. Many people do not seem to understand the problems associated with vaping or how it affects its users. Vaping is a cause for concern because they are targeted for a younger audience, they could be more dangerous than cigarettes, and the intended use by the company Juul is not playing out how they meant for it to. This trend needs to be stopped, and soon. The most concerning point to me is that these devices are designed and targeted for a younger audience whether it is admitted or not. This is done in many ways, one of them being flavored juices. Flavored juices entice younger teens because they do not want the tobacco flavor. Most of the use of the tobacco flavor comes from older adults who had a pre-existing nicotine addiction to cigarettes and therefore are used to the tobacco flavor. According to a recent study in middle schoolers and high schoolers, roughly one-third, or about 31%, said they used an e-cigarette because of the availability of flavors such as mint, candy, fruit, or chocolate, while 17% said they used it because they perceived them to be less harmful than other forms of tobacco such as cigarettes. The introduction of flavors such as mint, mango, creme brulee, and etc. was something that had not really been done before. The issue with this new advancement is it takes away from the seriousness of what consumers are doing. They are inhaling nicotine and many other harmful chemicals, but the absence of a strong tobacco flavor pushes us out of their mind. Instead of viewing it as a serious and harmful action, users mindlessly puff away at their device, wanting more and more of the flavor. People who use vapes and Juuls are much less aware of their actions than those who use cigarettes are. The fact of the matter is that most of these kids would have never become addicted to nicotine without them. Teens are more likely than older people to vape, but less likely to smoke cigarettes. Many teens would not have started using nicotine if it were not for the flavors in vapes. Another way that a younger audience is targeted is by the easiness of use and the ease of hiding it. Children have always been sneaky in hiding their bad behaviors, but the Juul and other devices have simply aided this effort. The sleek and slender design of the Juul and other e-cigarettes makes it easy to tuck away when you do not want it to be seen, unlike a bulky pack of cigarettes and lighter. Using vapes and such are also a lot less obvious. You do not have to take the time to smoke a whole cigarette. You can simply take one puff at a time as you please. This makes it much easier to keep from parents, teachers, and even employers. There is minimal smoker smell, so kids take advantage of this. Adults do not benefit as much from this, other than the ease of using it, since most do not have to hide it from someone. This directly benefits a younger age group who typically are not allowed to use these devices and would thus make kids more susceptible to them. Since the benefit most from using this, they are also the group that will use them the most. Adults will not be as likely to use them because they do not benefit as much. The second reason and most important reason that vaping is a concern is the fact that we do not truly know the effects of these devices. They have the potential to be more dangerous than cigarettes, but most assume they are healthier. While it is true some aspects make it safer, they do not make it safe in general. There have been different instances where Juuls and vapes were believed to cause black spots on the lungs of users, or even collapsed lungs in serious cases. The truth is, vapes have not been around long enough for anyone to know all of the consequences. There is even a video where the CEO of Juul admits that the long-term effects of vaping are not known.
People say the long-term effects of vaping are not known. That's true. That's true. That's a true statement.
Everyone assumed cigarettes were safe when they were first introduced, and we know how that turned out, so the same could be the case now. Another reason that is a cause for concern is overuse. Users do not seem to know when to stop using their devices, and it is very frightening. Since you only take one puff or hit at a time, most do not realize how much they even use. One pod for a Juul has about the same amount of nicotine as 20 cigarettes has, and many people will go through a pod a day. The last reason that vaping and the company Juul's principles are concerning is that its original intended use is not being honored. They were designed for people to stop smoking, but most users have never picked up a cigarette beforehand. In my personal experience, I've only known a handful of people who have actually used the Juul to quit smoking, but I've known countless individuals who have picked it up with absolutely no prior nicotine exposure. The fact that most of its users never smoked beforehand but are now addicted to nicotine with no reasoning is absolutely unacceptable. The Truth website claims that you're also 4 times more likely to start smoking cigarettes if you vape. These devices are causing more problems than they are solving. In conclusion, vaping should be setting off more alarms in people's minds than it is. This trend is one that could have been prevented in many different ways and one that needs to be stopped soon. People my age are the ones most severely affected due to marketing, availability, and simple peer pressure. More action needs to be done to reverse the influence of these large companies. We do not know all of the consequences, and therefore, users need to put down their device before the damage is done.